And welcome back to Nomad Wonder Girl, Japan and Taipei 2025 edition. This is a special episode. Excuse me. While Wonder Girl is exploring and doing the Kumarokodo, as well as checking out Osaka Expo 2025, I decided to check out the Hokkaido, and more specifically, scratch the itch that I've had for quite some time, and it is to see Wakanai, the most northern point in Japan. Um, I didn't get a chance to do it last year when we visited Japan and we were in Hokkaido. The circumstances just didn't align. But this time around, I think it was perfect timing while Wonder Girl was doing her own thing. I decided to spend 6 days in Hokkaido and make the best out of it. So why don't we pick up in Okinawa? So um, we were in Naha, Okinawa, and had booked a flight for Wonder Girl from Naha to Osaka. And then I booked myself a flight from Naha to Tokyo, and then 3 hour layover, and then from Tokyo to Sapporo. The reason why I did that was it gave me a chance to check in the luggage that we had with us. It was a bigger suitcase that I just didn't have a need to lug around with me. Not to mention that the airline tickets are more expensive if you're gonna check in the luggage. So I flew into Narita, Terminal 3. They have plenty of lockers, so I was able to store the luggage. It's about $8 a day for a maximum of 8 days for those that are curious. The flight took about an hour and a half, roughly, from Naha to Narita, and then another hour and a half from Narita to Sapporo, more precisely Chitose, which has a beautiful airport, and it's about 45 minutes by train from Sapporo. So I arrived in Chitose around 8 o'clock, and I had booked a place which is called, what is it called? It's Men Chitose. This is it's a self check-in apartment. It's actually pretty cool. It wasn't that expensive. It was about $80 Canadian a night. But the reason why it was so cheap because it's one station away from Chitose Airport on our way to Sapporo, and there's literally nothing there after hours. Like nothing is open. The only thing they had was two vending machines on a property. One with drinks, one with food. The one with food was out of order. It looks like I needed some servicing. So I got myself unsweetened green tea, and that was pretty much it for supper. But I must say, the hotel or the place, it was spotless. It was amazing. It had 4 beds, so maximum occupancy was 8 people. So if you have traveling with a larger group, highly recommend it. Had a little kitchenette, nice couch, all the amenities, including washer dryer. It was fantastic, and for $80, you can't go wrong. Right, so the next day, after getting a good night's sleep, I went to Toyota car rental where I had reserved a Toyota Prius for the next 3 days, and that was my means of getting up north and seeing the Wakanai for the first time. All right, so I got the car. Let me show it to you. It's a Prius, so hopefully we'll get some decent mileage on it. It's in black. Looking forward to driving in Hokkaido. So it's about from Chitose to Wakana. It's about 350 kilometers. which according to Google Maps, it should take about 5 hours. Now, just want to let you know that I, on purpose, did not want to take paid highways. I decided to avoid those, just because I was not in a hurry, and paying for highway didn't really, there was no need for it. So once I picked up the car, I decided to go and do some grocery shopping at local Costco. And before you start laughing, there's a reason why. Excuse me. By the way, the layout of Costco, it's identical between what we have here in Canada and Japan. The labels are in Japanese, and whereas here, obviously, it's in English, with few differences, such as fresh produce would be local, geared towards Japanese cuisine. So for instance, they still have chicken, but they also have really high-grade sashimi and sushi, which is what I picked up. I picked up a nice tray of sushi, and I also got a tray of what is it? Peaches. Yeah, Japanese peaches, and just to kind of put in perspective, a tray of Japanese peaches costed me $14 at Costco, which is about 6 medium to large size peaches, whereas the same 2 peaches from a street vendor in Sapporo were $10. So, and since I love peaches and it was peach season, it was a no-brainer. So after a quick stop, decided to start driving. Beautiful drive. Halfway through, the GPS took me on Highway 232, and that highway runs for about 150 kilometers, or I would say maybe half of the 350 kilometers along the western coast, right on the Japanese Sea. Fantastic drive. One of the best drives I've had in a long time. It's very scenic. You have rolling hills and vineyards on the right, and then you have the sea, the water on the left-hand side. It was amazing drive. And as I was driving, I came across, I saw this statue in afar, and it was like, I was kind of curious as to what it was. It turned out, as I got closer, it turned out that it's a statue of a dragon. And the dragon was protecting and was holding a little bridge, which we drove on. And that led to a rest stop. The building itself, it looked like a castle. Anyway, it had a playground next to it, had beautiful rolling hills, and just the architecture of the building, it looked like it didn't belong there. That's how I took it. Anyway, after having some food and stretching my legs, kind of looking around, I kept on driving. Probably for about another hour or so, where I decided to stop and check out, because I don't have any reservation for the night in Wakkanai. I'm like, I should probably look into that last minute. So I pull over, I start looking at Agoda, Booking.com, Hotels.com, Google Maps, Expedia, you name it. The only place that I could find, it was the Grand Hotel in Wakkanai that had availability, and it was $350 a night. Just for reference, an average hotel is about, in Wakkanai, it's about $80 to $150 a night. So that was the only thing that was available, and for obvious reason, the price. But because I needed a good night's sleep to make sure that I enjoy my trip, I booked a room. And I think once I checked in, the gentleman told me that was the last room that I booked, so very lucky. It was an older hotel on a main strip, beautiful, with the onsen, a restaurant, really high reviews. Is it worth $350 for what I did, which is just stayed after a day's drive and got up in the morning and left, probably not. But at the end of the day, I got a good night's sleep. So as I mentioned, the next day I woke up, took a shower, and decided to explore Wakanai. So I went over to Cape Nashapu, which is a most northern tip of Wakanai town. Um, it's not very far. It's probably about 10-minute drive northwest. There's a beautiful lighthouse and a statue of a dolphin. Now, dolphin, what I had found out, um, the dolphins are, there's a monument for dolphins. The reason why there's a statue for the dolphin is to pay tribute to the dolphins as they're found around that area. There's a lot of them. So looking at the map and to see what I was going to do next, I realized that Cape Nashapu is not the farthest point, northern point in Hokkaido. It's actually Cape Soya, which is about 35 kilometers east from Wakanai. And it, according to Google Maps, it would take 45 minutes to get there. So off I go, hop in a car, and I say, okay, I gotta make sure that I'm actually reaching the most part in part in Japan. So along the way, spotted a McDonald's. Because it was early in the morning, I felt like coffee. I'm like, okay, you know what? I haven't had coffee, haven't seen any coffee shops on my way. Not that I was looking hard, but plus there was a statue of Ronald McDonald chilling on a bench near the actual McDonald's. So I ended up getting coffee, which was, by the way, which was really good. And I took a selfie with Ronald McDonald because why not? If you happen to be in Japan, in Wakanai, why not take a selfie with Ronald McDonald? So after doing that, I hopped in a car and drank my coffee and just took a drive to Cape Soya. As I mentioned before, it's the most northern point in Japan. Now, to be technically correct, there's an island called Bentanjima, which is northwest, which is technically the most northern point of Japan. But there's nobody lives there, and I don't even know if there's ferries there. So Cape Soya was good enough for me. Now, just for those that keep track, Cape Soya is 45 degrees and 30 minutes north parallel, and to put in perspective, it's about the same parallel as Montreal in Canada. So even though it's most northern part in Japan, in Canada, it's fairly south. And to compare the weather, I think when I looked at Montreal, the temperatures were about 30 degrees Celsius. Montreal was going through a heat wave, where in Cape Soya the temperature was about 17, 18 degrees, which was pretty chilly. Yeah, so I got a few souvenirs from the local store. But then there was also a statue of Mamiya Rinzo, a famous explorer and cartographer of northern Wakanai area from the 18th century. So there was a statue to pay tribute to him, which I found very, very interesting. After spending some time there and just reflecting on my drive and the journey, and just seeing all the people come by, taking pictures and leave. I wanted to just spend a little time with myself and just looking out the sea, which was very, very relaxing. So I was much needed. Uh, Came back to my car and I looked at the phone and the maps, and I had two options. I could either come back the same way I came, back to Chitose, or drive along eastern coast and explore that area. But I figured, you know what? Why don't I check the hotels just to make sure um, that there's availability of hotels, and looks like June, July, August time frame is when a lot of people travel, because I couldn't find anything along the coast that I could actually stay. So I decided to drive back to Chitose the same way I came. Um, but you know what? Which was fine, because I fulfilled my dream, which was to be in Wakanai. Um, Again, scenic route, amazing view driving back. And when I got to Chitose, I stayed in Queen's Hotel, which is just your regular hotel, again with comfortable bed and a free parking, which was important to me. Uh, the next day, I got up and figured, you know what? There's no need for me to hang on to the car anymore, as there's really nothing much to see. So I decided to go and return the car. And believe it or not, I actually got $100 back because I returned the car 12 hours earlier, which was a pretty good deal. And I got a free shuttle to the airport, which worked for me because from there I caught a train to Sapporo. So that was pretty cool. Um, I was toying an idea of whether or not to go to Seoul for a couple of days, but I decided to stay local and explore Sapporo some more, and I just to be there, lay low a little bit, and actually vacation for a bit, right after the 2 days of driving. So I stayed in a couple of hotels. Both of them were fantastic. I'm of an opinion that in Japan, 3-star hotel gives you a good balance between the comfort and cleanliness, and that hits a sweet spot. Um, so yeah, you know what? While in Sapporo, I immersed myself in local restaurants. Just walked around every day. I probably did about 20 to 25,000 steps, just walking around and looking at different things. There was a whole bunch of festivals that week as well. Um, a couple major streets were closed for those festivals. It was pretty cool. A lot of people enjoying themselves. You could a lot of different foods and drinks. Some of them were sponsored by Sapporo. Had a few tents, and for a small price, you could actually have a fresh Sapporo draft beer, which was awesome. Of course, had to try it. Uh, but more importantly, I probably had one of the best tonkatsu meals in my visit to Japan. And the name of the place is Tonkatsu Aoki Sapporo. If you ever happen to be in Sapporo, I would highly recommend checking them out. That's Tonkatsu Aoki Sapporo. Just check out their hours, because they're open for lunch and then dinner. The tonkatsu was fantastic. Um, and I think Japan is the only place where when you order pork cutlet, it's doesn't have to be cooked throughout, so it was still had a little bit of pink inside. So that was the highlight on one day. The next day, I decided to take a day trip to Mount Moiwa, which is 531 meters above the sea level, and it gives you a beautiful view of Sapporo. Now, I went there during the day, but from the pictures, like if you happen to go there early in the morning for the sunrise, or like a lot of people do for sunset, it offers spectacular views there. Yeah, it takes about 20 minutes by the gondola. It costs about $20 to get to the top, or like a lot of locals do, you could hike it up. I took the gondola. It was hot, and because I left my suitcase in Tokyo, I didn't have a lot of spare clothes, and the hotels I stayed at did not have laundry. So I had to be very strategic as to what I did. And the last day in Sapporo, I decided to escape the city and go visit a coastal town called Otaru. It's about 50 minutes by train, express train from Sapporo. And it turned out to be an amazing decision. Um, so Otaru has this street that probably stretches about, I would say, just over a kilometer. Um, it's a narrow street that has a whole bunch of different shops along the road. And you can buy, you know, matcha ice cream, a whole bunch of different restaurants, from seafood to wagyu beef steaks to tonkatsu restaurants to some unique places that sell fur and fur products, leather products. And there's a couple of stores that I really want to mention. One of them was selling preserved bonsai trees, which are a fantastic gift if you want to bring it to somebody, gift it to somebody. That was beautiful. And then at the end or at the beginning of the whole street, there's a what's it called? Hello Kitty Cafe. Now, because I have a huge fan of Hello Kitty in my family, I had to stop by and pick up few gifts. But yeah, it was a lot of people, a lot of cool Hello Kitty items. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. If you happen to be in Otaru, like I highly recommend checking out those two items if you're into those things. Right, and then that was pretty much it for Sapporo. Ended up taking train back to my hotel. Got a good night's sleep, and the next day I had a flight back to Narita, which gave me a chance to move my luggage. So essentially I took out my luggage, paid for it, and then put it back in to reset the timer on the 8 days. As Wonder Girl and I did not need anything from the suitcase. And I had booked us a hotel in Ginza called the Hotel, and this is the only hotel in Tokyo, at least, or Ginza, that is cashless. They do not accept cash. For those that don't know, Japan is still very cash heavy. If you go outside of big cities, you have to make sure you have cash. But this hotel was on the opposite side of the spectrum. It was totally cashless. So that's an interesting piece. So yeah, I got there first. I got to the hotel first. I checked in, and then I was tracking Wonder Girl. So when she got to Ginza, I went out to surprise her and meet her halfway and show her to the hotel. And that's my story of 6 days in Hokkaido. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to show you some clips in between, so you probably have seen it. But it was an amazing trip. So with that, over and out.